What up, YouTube? It's Frisky Dingo here, getting back with you guys with another review slash reaction video. Today we're looking at Alexander Usyk versus Anthony Joshua fight that happened last Saturday. Usyk being one of my favorite fighters of this decade. He's on my top list of best fighters within this decade. Number one being Terrence Crawford, number two being Usyk, number three being Canelo Alvarez. I was pretty excited for this fight, and out of all the heavyweight fights that were coming in within 2021, I basically said that this fight was the most realistic to happen. I kind of knew already that Fury and Wilder wouldn't be able to fight AJ within this year because of the time constraints that involve COVID. So it's pretty good that we end up getting this fight. Usyk, being the undisputed champion at cruiserweight, basically moved up and activated his mandatory to fight Anthony Joshua, and it was pretty much a good fight, exactly how I thought it was going to go. Usyk did everything perfect that night. He cut off the ring, he established his dominance, he worked off his jab, he set up his jab, did multiple combinations off the jab, cut off the ring multiple times, and basically did not allow Anthony Joshua to establish his will as a heavyweight throughout the entire fight. It's pretty much what you can ask for of a masterclass boxer, and at such elite level. Usyk basically did everything you needed to do. Anthony Joshua did not do everything he needed to do and fought a completely different fight comparative to all his other fights. He went in there and tried to box a boxer where he should have put on a lot of weight, should have came in at least at 245, 250, basically trying to get Usyk out of there within the first 6 rounds. That's exactly what should have happened. You know, Anthony Joshua being the bigger heavyweight, he basically should have stuck to the typical heavyweight tradition when it comes to a fight like this, especially when you have a boxer such as Usyk being able to work off his jab and be able to establish his dominance. Do I think AJ can come back from this fight? I do 100% believe that he can come back from this fight. There's nothing that suggests that he can't come back from this fight at all. A lot of people have some misconceptions about how boxing works, but it's always about improving yourself. Usyk, unfortunately, is in an awkward position because now after beating him, he might end up fighting Deontay Wilder or Fury, depending on what happens next. But I truly believe that Usyk will be the first undisputed heavyweight champion of this era. I do not believe that no other boxer has the ability like him. So hopefully we see in the near future what ends up happening between Fury, Wilder, and Usyk. But one thing I do know is the way that Usyk performed within the Anthony Joshua fight is telling of what is going to come if he had to fight Wilder or Fury. One of Usyk's many powerful techniques is that he's able to cancel out what you're trying to do and basically dictate the tempo and pace of the fight the entire time. He basically has a very high resistance when it comes to taking shots. So basically for you to beat Usyk, you're going to have to dominate him with extreme power. And Anthony Joshua unfortunately did not do that at all. Reminding me a little bit of Frank Bruno, you know, really good guy, really positive person, but just couldn't take a punch. You know, very physically built, but just can't take a punch. And I think Anthony Joshua might need a change in his trainers. That being said, I think he should go to Detroit. He should go to Philly and meet some American trainers so that he could develop a little bit more of a technique that's more consistent to him using his attributes. You know, Joshua being the bigger, taller, faster fighter, he should have been able to not only establish the length and distance of the fight, but dictate in which Usyk was going to throw his power. That being said, it's obvious that Joshua came in there with the complete wrong game plan, and I give that to his trainers who basically mistrained him for this fight, especially at someone who's a master elite boxer such as Alexander Usyk. Most importantly, if you watch him through his amateur coming into his pro fights and his cruiserweight run leading to undisputed, you can see that one, he isn't scared to dictate space. He isn't scared of being in a foreign arena. He isn't scared of getting punched. He isn't scared of taking a couple hits. There's a lot of evidence that shows you that this person has extreme willpower. And I don't think that Anthony Joshua came into the fight understanding that. Like I said, Usyk working off the jab, working off combinations, the double right overhand, the double jab overhand, breaking the guard. These are all perfect fundamentals of boxing. You know, if you want to basically get someone scared in the ring, you basically lightly jab them right through their guard, right? And then the minute their guard breaks, they think you're going to come in for either another jab or move away. You come in with an overhand, and then, you know, you do exactly that, and then retreat and then repeat. It's something that Mayweather famously does all the time. If you watch if you watch Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez, he basically neutralized all of Canelo's power by establishing the double jab overhand. Every time Canelo put up his guard and thought he was safe, Mayweather would establish that double jab to break the guard, the second jab to make sure the distance is perfect, and then the third follow-up is the overhand. So Usyk did all of those type of things. You know, even when he got caught, he basically grabbed up AJ perfectly so that he could regain his equilibrium and move forward. And once again, perfect technique from Usyk all around. And I'm not surprised that he is the unified heavyweight champion. Out of Joshua, Wilder, and Fury, I've always been disappointed with these three fighters and the standards that they've brought to the heavyweight division. Fury for, you know, basically, you know, having, you know, doing coke during his entire training camp against Klitschko, and then, you know, being accused of peds because of it, and then not defending his belts and being stripped. Wilder for holding down one belt his entire career and not going outside the bounds to, you know, fight anybody of a tougher name besides King Kong Ortiz, and now Fury. And Anthony Joshua for his lack of fundamentals, something that I've always been very critical about Anthony Joshua about. He keeps his head right in the middle, right down the pipeline. He doesn't use his footwork. You know, when he first fought Klitschko, that was the Anthony Joshua that we should have seen for every single fight coming up. But some reason he decided to lose weight and become some kind of, you know, boxer, which once again, in heavyweight, it's okay to, you know, be a technical boxer, but you need also that speed to go with it. That's why Ali was such a once in a lifetime fighter, because he had speed and power. And if you look at his fights against Ken Norton or Ernie Shavers, you can see that those two men put a lot of wear and tear on Muhammad Ali, and he still became victorious. Even though sometimes I do say that Ken Norton should have won the final trilogy fight in New York for the unification. I do believe that Norton did win that fight, but, you know, from a judge's perspective, Ali did land the cleaner shots. But that being said, like I said, when I look at Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Fury, I can never see them fight Ken Norton and Ernie Shavers. They would absolutely get dismantled by those two fighters. And those are considered, like, you know, there's A+ heavyweights during the golden era, and those guys are considered A. So I couldn't imagine them going against the B types. So that being said, I can't wait for Usyk's next fight. I obviously it's going to be a rematch against Anthony Joshua. There was a rematch clause, so we are expecting the rematch to happen. But if Anthony doesn't go forward with this fight, it won't be surprising. I do believe that he needs to go back into the chalkboard, into training camp, and, you know, put on more weight, become more disciplined with his power, and basically be prepared for a 12-round fight with Usyk, because Usyk fights for all 12 rounds. And one of the biggest factors for Usyk is that his accuracy does not drop later in the rounds. So that lets you know one thing, that he has good cardio, good stamina, and good ability of landing shots, which means good eyesight, right? Because you need, you know, keep these eyes perfect condition to make sure that even in later rounds when you're getting wary, you're still being able to see clearly, land these shots, tired arms and all that. These are all very important things. So to be honest, I hope that he can come back, Anthony Joshua. I don't think so, but we will see. I do believe he can come back. I hate saying I don't think so, but I do believe he can come back. And hopefully if we do get another Anthony Joshua fight, we get to see, what he can really bring to the table. So, if we hear anything more or anything else catches the boxing world, I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.